Episode 27, man. Subtle Impact. Welcome back. We are back. You already know what it is, man. You know, and today is a little different. We're doing a strictly sports segment, right? So we're not talking about nothing else. Nothing else but sports.
Bad takes only.
Bad takes,
bad
good
takes and questions. You know,
questions. You know, controversy. However you want to put it. So this is the injury report. You know what I mean? And I'm here to question everything that I've seen this last 2 years with sports, and I have a lot of them. And so does this man right here.
Irie A. Smith today.
You feel me?
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
It's straight blasphemy.
Straight blasphemy. We're getting right to the business. Ladies, I do understand if you're not interested in this and you tune out after this.
It's okay.
That's fine. You tune back in next episode. But right now we're talking about sports. This is for the fellas. All right, fellas, let's get straight to business. Why do athletes like their contracts? Why you feel like that's public knowledge? Because if you take it, everything we do, right? Like if you work in IT or somebody works in sales and this person works in finance, how much we make don't get like, you know, it don't come
based
across
off assumption.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
like,
it's generally speaking,
position,
you
so
make
like,
that much, right? But athletes get a big contract and you see it across sports, and
it's tweeted the minute it's
80
signed.
million,
You know, I
4
don't
years.
even think they get to process it.
Bro, no,
like,
seriously.
Information is out.
Seriously. And so I asked this question. I start the segment off with that because do you feel like that's detrimental to the sport at this point? Like, you know what I mean? Like, are we starting to see the sport decline?
Like, I feel like definitely now, because you got people who aren't competing for the sake of like competition and the passion of the game. It's just like,
right.
At least it seems, you know, because it's like the goal now is to get the money as soon as you can.
Get it quick, you know,
and
get out.
Instead of like seeing it as the marathon, you know, it's like you on a rookie contract, already thinking about $100 million contract.
It's blasphemy. Yeah, see, and that's the blasphemy right there. That's see, and it's very, I would say it's a bit premature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, without saying any names just yet, I feel, you know, just yet, you know what I mean? No, and anything that's said, no offense. This is just what I'm seeing, players.
I mean, how long do you think that we've actually been seeing players get what they've asked for? You know, it hasn't been long.
It has been very recent.
You
LeBron, honestly, probably right when LeBron started, and not even when he started his rookie contract was that much. He got more money from, you know, the deal with his shoes.
Right.
But he kind of just started getting the contracts popping. I personally believe Michael Jordan got robbed, Magic Johnson got robbed. All the football niggas got robbed. They wasn't making no money.
Nah, we've seen
like
some legends get robbed. You know
we've seen some Hall of Famers get robbed.
It's crazy. It's politics.
So do you think by, like, if me and you were teammates, right, and I know you making 80 million over 4 years, and I know my stats are better than you, and I'm only making 30 million, does that create, you know, some divide? You know what I mean? Because that's what I think
I mean, I feel like sport definitely matters too. You know what I mean? Like if we're talking about football, where it's like different positions have maybe more impact than the other. You know what I mean? Like you. For example, you know, without saying no names, you know,
right?
You a safety,
right? Safeties,
quarterback money,
safeties.
You know, so
critical. See, the thing is this. This is what I need to understand, fellas, and I want to have conversation about this because for any of the dudes who played sports, right, you know what positions on the field are critical, right, and like, you know, skill positions, right, and it's not to take away from safety or linebacker or any of that, but once you start negotiating and saying, I need this amount at my position, you take away from all the other skill positions, quarterback, wide receiver, offensive line.
Yeah,
you know
like
we're
starting to see the rise of like entrepreneurship in sports.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And it's not for the best though.
And
it's not for the best.
Yeah.
This is what I say. I'm not mad at nobody being an entrepreneur one foot and then being an athlete on another.
Let's make that clear. It's not
no. You get both things popping. But what I do not like is that the love for the game seems
it's a drop off.
It seems like
it's a drop off.
Exponentially bad. The competency, and we're gonna get to that.
Playing.
And niggas aren't competing. And so let's get to that, right? So that segues actually. Do you think athletes are less basically they're not really like, are athletes less incentivized to compete like for the love of the game due to how large these contracts are? Like, you know what I mean? Or is it only now based off of like the money, and now it's like, like I'm not really about the competition like that? Like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna get this money and feed my family. I got kids to feed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what's tough too, because it's like you've got. I feel like it comes down to your mindset too, as a player. You know what I mean? Because it's ones we could point to that it's like, you know, I haven't seen him ask for a dime. You know, he just really wants to win. And then you've got the others who it's just like, you know, I haven't really seen you actually try to do
on the
this.
line. Yeah,
like you haven't put it all on the line. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that I would say, and I agree with you. I think, but see, so how is there justification behind an athlete? And see, I don't know much about soccer. I would love for people to jump in and talk about soccer, right? Because they make a lot of money. So, like, how do you justify it? And do you see this type of drop off in production in soccer the way we seen it in basketball and football? Because we really only talking about those two sports. So, you know what I mean? Like, are they less incentivized over there in those sports? Like, you know,
my thing is, have they always been getting paid though? You know what I mean?
And I think generally, soccer players have always been making more.
You know what I mean? Baseball too. So it's like, but I don't know how that is for like the general, you know, the I'm trying to say it in a way where I'm just not like, you know, the niggas who really shouldn't be making hundreds of millions. You know, it's like
the mid, the mid, you know, the mid. Simply, like there, and that's the thing, right? Like, I think that what we see now is a lot of athletes are not really competing to be great. It's just like, this is my job. I think that's another thing that we see, and that's fine, right? Like you go in and you do what you do, but you cannot demand great money and have good production. You know what I'm saying? Or mid,
because it's a lot or even, I mean, it's like, you know, you're in the 1% of like the sports world, but it's like at the same time too, there's still levels to that.
There's levels within your bracket. Exactly. We talked about this on another podcast, but there's levels to all of this shit. You know what I mean? So even if you an athlete, you still got levels within the athlete world. You know what I mean? You might have made it past all the other shit, but like, you still got levels within that. So, you know, I think that being incentivized is a little, it's taking a hit. You know what I mean? Because you got people getting money, right? The collective bargaining agreement is larger now. So niggas can get more money. That's that's part of the problem. There's more money that's accessible. Magic Johnson and Dominique Wilkins and Michael Jordan, all of them, they didn't even have as much money.
Bro, like, could you imagine how much money they be getting paid?
It would be a lot of money. And see, then we see the young niggas say, "Oh, people like them are haters." See, now that's the part like I can't accept. I can't. Shaq is not a hater because he sees Rudy Gobert
don't even like the fact that this is a convo.
Yeah, no, because it shouldn't be. Because you don't like somebody's production or what they do.
Yeah, like,
shouldn't.
The problem isn't the money.
No,
and that's what needs to be understood. You know what I mean? You get paid whatever,
right?
But I just shouldn't be asking myself why the quality just seems to like that dunk contest. You know what I mean? It's
yeah, we touched on that lightly last pod. God bless all those gentlemen, man. That was a real travesty to the sport. And honestly,
and that's a one-off thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's not even something that should count.
Yeah, because it's for fun technically, but
you know what I mean. It's like, I can't even watch the All-Star.
It's reflective of the production overall.
It is.
And you know, I think what we saw there was just lack of preparation. I think when we hear, you know, the Jalen Ramseys and the, you know, certain guys who are really technical and like very, very like, what would the word, tunnel vision, right? Like they don't even look at like the sport as a sport. It's like, you know what I mean? It's more than that. You see the difference. So I felt like when you see the dudes in the dunk contest, it's just like, it is what it is.
Yeah, like I'll say that's another thing too. And I don't know if that's leaning into another topic, but you know, it's definitely easy to just see who's locked in and who's distracted, because it's a lot of distracting. You know what I mean? It's a lot of distractions, bro. Like,
and to be honest, that's not on the agenda, but that we can segue into that. Do you think that because we've got more distractions with social media, more accessibility to women and vices and all of this, do you think these dudes are just, they're not necessarily producing as much because of the distractions?
Yeah, 100%.
Because if Michael Jordan, say for instance, Michael Jordan had Instagram and Twitter and you know what I mean, Clubhouse or whatever, you know what I mean, would he be less on his shit? You know, he was almost more focused by default.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to ask that about any anything that's like related to entertainment, you know,
right?
Just in terms of like just how bad social media has affected, you know, just the scene of things. It's like you're no longer, people don't want to be boxed in anymore,
right?
You know what I mean? And it's like people feel bigger than the occasion,
right?
And you know that's fine when you're winning,
right?
You know, when you're producing.
And every athlete is going to tell you that when you winning, everybody loves you.
You do what you want.
Everybody loves you. There is
you know
no.
What I mean?
No isn't even in the. You know what I mean? Or no, there's no negativity really.
And mind you, it's like we root for everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
You know what I mean? So it's just disappointing when you see certain things. You know, it's
it
like
hurts.
You came in first overall pick,
gentlemen. It hurts. Seriously. What I want to say to y'all is this. I just think that if you had somebody in your corner that's really keeping it honest with you, and I said this on the last pod, your lady should be talking to you about this shit. It's unacceptable.
Nah, she should read the stats.
You know, if your father around or whoever you look up to, your big bro, niggas really need to be talking to you. Like that was, I mean, do you know what's going on? Like,
but that's the thing. People don't want to be told shit.
You know they don't. Like,
especially you're hating.
Especially when you make a certain level of money, you don't want to hit. You don't believe anything. You know what I mean?
And like I was saying the other day, it's like I know you go home and you know you type your name into Twitter, you see it.
It's hard to avoid.
That's why having people in your corner is definitely important because you do need the unbiased truth.
You do
with anything that you do. You know what I mean?
You do.
So,
and I know it hurts to see a nigga like Stephen A. or Shannon or
main
Skip,
topic.
a white dude.
Main topic.
Yeah, like your name is on the. You know?
It sucks. Like what's happening in the Russ, you know what I mean? It's like,
see, let's talk about this. So Ben Simmons, this is the guy that I really have to. I need everyone to get in the comments and start. Let's have a conversation about this because I'm not understanding Ben Simmons and people of his caliber, right? So Russ to me is the complete opposite. He's a guy who is going out every night
playing.
And it's just not winning at the end of the day. It's not going his way. It's unfortunate. But he's playing. I paid you to play. Ben Simmons is a dude.
He's on vacation.
You know what I mean? He's claiming mental illness. And remember,
streaming.
Difference between mental fortitude and then mental illness, right? But that's neither here or there. I'll say this though, we're claiming it almost feels like, I'll say this, it feels like we're claiming laziness or we're associating laziness with mental health issues. Like, oh, let's just say I'm going through something, but I really don't want to work. Like, it's not about me actually going through, because now you're taking away from someone who really has mental health, problems.
Yeah, and I mean, I think at the end of the day, like some people just, tend to take the scrutinization a lot harsher than, because like, who was it that said, and it was somebody in another sport that just said, in regards to Ben, it's like, yo, just play better.
Jason Kelsey on the Eagles center.
Like we're not asking you to be a politician here. It's like,
you don't need to be perfect,
we just
bro.
want to see you put up points.
I just want to see you do good. But see, that's my thing. I'm like, what is it? And this is the one thing that I always go back and forth with. And maybe other people can add in on this. Even though Michael Jordan didn't have social media, Magic Johnson, Wilt Chamberlain, all of them, they didn't have social media. They still got scrutinized just like these dudes.
Oh yeah,
Shaq, sure. Kobe.
It might not have hit the same, you know what I mean? Like,
right, maybe you don't have social media, so you don't have everybody like, attacking you and you getting the notification, but you still feel it though. Yeah. You still go to the podium every night.
And that's just a sign of like, they're doing something right. You know what I mean? When it's somebody's always gonna, hate just because.
All the time.
Like, but when you haven't really like accomplished much essentially.
Right.
And it's
like, gonna be more scrutiny.
I'm already seeing the complaints. It's like that,
asking to be traded.
And that's the thing. It's like, you're mad at the fans. Are you mad at the organ anyway? Like, I feel like he took the anger of what the fans, you know what I mean? I don't know. And then put it,
yeah.
So
I see that there's a recent interview with Joel Embiid explaining why.
Yeah, and that's another thing. When your teammates start to
get
very frustrated with you.
It's indicative of who you are. So,
yeah,
is it injuries or laziness? Y'all let me know. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to figure out because I don't know. I'm starting to feel like it's laziness.
Yeah, man.
I'm not saying niggas aren't injured. I think they're genuinely injured, but I think you can see dudes play through torn meniscuses and, you know.
Bro, and that's the thing. You
like,
know, it's like I swear people used to not get injured in the.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how that's all of a sudden a thing. It's normal for a dude to be injured now.
Could be the food. You know what I mean? The shit is fake.
Like you said, niggas ain't living right.
I don't know.
You know
niggas
what I mean?
are not.
Y'all
right,
not living right, man.
Wow.
I need y'all to get right. You know what I mean? Before I gotta add you to this clipboard, you need to get right because this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like niggas is not living right because I don't see how like. I be looking at I look at the old Hall of Famer stats. They didn't miss games.
They didn't miss games, man.
They weren't out for seasons.
1,000-yard season.
And we got the best medicine and we got the best technology now. And niggas is out for 2 years. No names included.
I think niggas
but
are refusing help. You know, like I think, and that's what I just don't think niggas want to play. You know?
That's lazy.
Like,
that's lazy like though.
Because then it's something like, oh man. How much do we want to name names?
Because
it's like Michael Thomas, for example. You know,
MT.
like, from what I saw,
MT.
You didn't want to get the surgery from before.
You waited out. You did wait out, player. Yeah. From what I know, from what we know, it could be a different story, right? But what I say is this though: if you waited to get the surgery, you might have made a business decision, right? Because Bradley Beal recently got the surgery this year. And he was out for the season. I think he made a business decision and said, I'm going into free agency. I don't want to fuck my stock up. So I'm not going to play the rest of the season for a losing organization.
Right.
That's a business decision. Michael Thomas, though, you done been out almost 3 years. But this is my problem with it. Niggas be claiming like top 5, top 10. I'm the best at my... You can't really claim that and not have like consistent work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not in sports. You only play we say 5 to 10 years on average. That's my
thing. It's like they be fresh off of the rookie contract making some bold claims. Then it's like the money comes in and the production falls off. It's like I don't really
and that actually my bad. That actually segues into a topic that I want to talk about. So is it ironic that dudes get paid immediately, like free agent gets a contract from a team and then production falls off? Is that ironic or is that it? I mean, is it almost feeling like that is like it's like almost like intentional?
Yo, and that's the thing. I really don't know anymore.
Because
it's like you have a lot of organizations paying niggas just off of the future aspect, like, you know, the potential. Like I believe in, you know, whatever your ability is, whatever your ceiling is, and it's like they really may not hit that ceiling. They might not. You might end up feeling like a couple years later, damn, I got to bring in somebody else.
Right.
And now you have to pay somebody else what you thought that you were gonna pay him.
Right.
And now you have, you know, you got bidding wars. You know, because agents, you know, that's another thing too. Half the time it might not even be the player. You know what I mean? Like
that's true.
You've got an agent in the air just like, well, you know, so and so's getting this much. I think you need to up the price.
A lot of shiesty agents. That's true. You know what? And I think that goes back to what we were just talking about. Like, dude, like having a strong corner. Because if you have somebody in your corner that lets you know, like, look, don't make it about the money yet. You 23, 24. You got a lot more coming for you. You know what I mean? You want to just stay healthy.
Yeah, like
I don't feel like the focus is staying healthy no more. Niggas is just like, I just want to get the big contract.
Nah, man. You know, you our friend Schroeder. You know, it's like
Dennis Schroeder.
You know what I mean?
Let me get my clipboard ready for you, player.
I do wonder, you know, did you
Injury
have
report.
Conversations before? I would hope that one of y'all would say something.
Injury report. Listen, Dennis Schroeder, this is no disrespect to you, player. You made a very, very bad business decision. I've never seen such, and I really do feel as though you were informed incorrectly. That's it.
That's what it had to be.
That's all. You know what I mean? It's not about you being prideful. I think you made a very bad business decision.
You had to be told, like,
it was misinformation.
You're definitely gonna get paid more than this elsewhere.
And that's a shame.
You know what I mean?
That's a shame. Because if y'all don't know, Dennis Schroeder turned down, and I could be wrong, 80 million.
I thought it was like 84.
84 million because he wanted 100 million. Let me say that again. Dennis Schroeder turned down $84 million because he wanted $100 million. You really just, I don't want to like bash the man, but it just don't really make sense to me. Like, what is that? 16 million more? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and it's like we don't have to even talk about where it ended up because it's
injury
just like,
report,
you
man.
know, again, it just like we were saying, like I do think it's important that you have somebody in your corner that you know you can look to keep it real because you're gonna just hear numbers thrown around,
and you just start feeling, you just start feeling like, you know what, I am worth $100 million. Fuck the 84.
And you should feel that way. You know what I mean?
No. You should feel like whatever you're offered, you're always worth more. But
you were on the Lakers.
The business decision.
You know what
again,
I mean?
It's just
not. And it just, again, when it comes to like there being pieces around you, it's like you sadly have to factor in, you know what I mean, your environment.
You do.
You know,
see, and that actually talks about some. Y'all niggas be taking deals selfishly. It's very like individualistic. Like
pay
I
the lineman
need this money. You know what I mean? Like, what about the line?
Pay the line, baby.
You know what I mean? What about the rest of the team?
They're in the trenches every day.
You just want to get paid. You know,
every snap.
I don't know, man. I think that team vibe was very heavily provided back in the day.
Check my notes.
Nah, seriously, flip the fucking pages.
Flip the clipboard,
because because the team vibe is
run
gone.
A new play.
Yeah, nah. Niggas are no longer in it for the squad. I feel like it's like I'm in it for my individual stats, which is the argument for Russ, which sucks because I like Russ. You know what I mean? But Harden, fellas, what we think about James Harden now? You know what I mean? Strip clubs, Paris. Little baby, you know, strippers. It's a lot going on. You never know. You never know where you never know. And then when you see that and you're a fan of a team, you're like, God damn, this man never is in the gym. He may be, but we don't.
And I think that is funny because it's just like, that's why I do hate social media because it's like.
It does suck.
You kind of, you end up with people judging what you choose to post.
What you choose to show.
You know, and it's
but you do dictate what you choose to show. And that sucks because it's like maybe I don't want to show them in the gym.
Maybe you just don't want to post. I feel it. You know what I mean?
I'm chilling. Like, I'm working out. I don't need to show you that.
A lot of people only post themselves in the club. You know what I mean?
And this is true, but when production doesn't equate to what the aesthetic is, I'm starting to judge you, especially in sports. So my question would be, how many years do we give these niggas before a trade request is okay, you know, it's justifiable? Because I'm thinking 2-3 years, I don't think that's justifiable.
Nah, I say 4. I say after 4 years
of healthiness, and maybe 1 year you got hurt, I give you that. But 4 years,
4 years is worth a contract. You know what I mean? Like,
but the question is, after 4 years, can you demand a trade? Like, say they give you an extension. Now you're like, nah, it's not working out. Zion, you know what I mean? That's a good example. He's 3 years in.
Yeah, I mean I think that just comes down to, you know what I mean, what we've seen. Because, you know, you give solid production of 4 years and it's like you just don't see the vision. Mm-hmm. I think that's just mutually beneficial for the team and you to just, you know, move on.
Okay.
Because I think that's another problem too. I think teams be putting certain people in like a stranglehold, and it's like, yo, just let him 100%. You know what I mean? He don't want to be here. Like,
yeah.
That's
already Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Man. They freed him out that. Deshaun. Good lucky Cleveland player.
200.
Yeah. That, I mean, hey, shout out to NFL dudes getting that guaranteed money though, because you are putting your body on the line, you know, to not.
Yeah, and that's the other argument, you know what I mean? It's like I understand why
I do
it's
get
like
that.
You may feel like, damn, you know, I got to get paid now because I don't know how.
I get that,
know, but I feel like a lot of shit is just spoken into existence too, because, you know, like you said earlier, to circle back, it's like I do feel like once the incentive, you could cross it off, it's like all of a sudden the unthinkable happens and you end up you on the injury report. You know what I mean?
You're on the injury report.
Tough.
You're now being discussed. And see, that's the thing. Like, I feel like I think there should be more pride in athletes not being discussed in such negative ways. Yeah. Like, they all kind of look at it like it's hate.
We don't help.
In this, you know what I mean?
I will say, like, you know, media does not help because it's the thing is, like, we'd rather talk about the bad naturally,
and that's true because there's a lot of young dudes like I was talking. Shout out John Morant, Jason Tatum, Luka. You know what I mean? Trey Young. You know these boys. RJ Barrett, getting it. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's a lot of young dudes. You're right, but they do. The headlines be the bad, you know what I mean? It just is what it
like,
is.
Let's big them up, you know. Let's give them a reason to play proud, you know what I mean? Instead, it's like, but you know, it's just a double-edged sword because it's like at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, we in a bad spot,
right? I can't that's facts. You know, that's facts. And I feel like it's gonna sell. It's just like how they say sex sells.
Fans just want to see better play, and the players just want niggas to shut the hell up. You know what I mean?
But you should take it as motivation. You know what I'm saying? But what sells on the media aspect is like Stephen A. bashing fucking Ben Simmons for bitching up essentially. You know what I mean? It's not gonna him bigging up Joel Embiid is cool. Like, oh yeah, that's cool. All right, cool. I see what he's doing. But him going crazy on Ben Simmons is everybody's tuned in. Everybody's making memes.
Because everybody's feeling it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, what's so of course, like, you know, and then you hear what you were thinking already, and it's like, you know,
and that's what it be, and that's why I wanted to have this segment because I know a lot of people was thinking this shit because I was thinking the other day before we move on. I think the pilots and the EMTs and all this shit, they should be making some of this athlete money. I mean, these niggas making millions to run routes. Like, I'm not mad at that for the niggas who's doing it at a very high level. Even your job, your standard job, lawyer, doctor, whatever, right?
The doctors get a COVID raise.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I heard there's a premium for shit. But to your point, it should be more money though in that where it's like a essential worker type shit where you got.
Because my thing is too, it's like you're getting paid a lot to just put up, 4 points a game.
You getting paid a lot to put up. Yeah, no, seriously. So, even a practice squad video you sent me, the dude making 150, whatever it was.
Yeah. That's solid money
for 8.
That's solid money. I'll line up.
I'll go work out for that. Yeah. I'll go work out for $150,000.
Bring me a DB. Like,
listen, I'll go work out for $150,000. That's a cool incentive. Yeah. But to move on to the last two topics. So the NFL, right? The NFL is an interesting organization for me because I think it's just ran so poorly. In my opinion, right? But we all love football here in America.
The sport outweighs the
fucking brand,
tragedy.
The handle, the tragedy behind it.
It's a lot of dark shit.
Some bullshit behind the NFL, but we love it. So here we are, right? So NFL structure. I have a new structure proposed. Let me look at my notes.
Hold up.
I have to look at my notes for this. Listen up. All bottom hemisphere squads. I'm not going to go off any names right now, but let me say this. All teams that have been very poorly managed and or production has been below average for the last 5 to 10 years, you are now unranked. Any game you play does not count. Everything is fucking... What is it? What was non-guaranteed?
Yeah, non-guaranteed.
Non-guaranteed.
I mean, you may have to compete with the XFL. You know what I mean?
I need niggas feeling like their job is at stake.
I just feel like there shouldn't even be an option to like pay for season tickets.
No,
you know what I mean?
Not for these bottom hemisphere.
That's what I'm saying. Like
let me define bottom hemisphere. Bottom hemisphere a little more for definition is teams that have not competed on a high level for about 5 to 10 years, right? You're constantly picking in the top 10, and you have trouble procuring talent. Yeah, or retaining all of it. It's all fucking bad.
Bad staff
and coaching personnel's been bad.
Hiring, it's
just to list off a
lot
few
of components.
Browns, Washington football team, both New York squads.
You got it.
Houston Texans. Miami Dolphins. Did I say Cleveland Browns?
Jacksonville.
Detroit Lions. All of you teams that I'm naming, I'm missing a few. Unranked. So that means in my proposal, y'all don't get to actually play games that count toward anything. You go out.
Nah, you're preseason specialist. You know what I mean? Like, Your practice.
No.
Because it's like it hurts to see. You're food. You are.
You're food for the other teams. And that's really just how I look at it. Seriously. Like, I'm really disappointed. I've seen enough bad play. So all the teams that I named, plus a couple more.
I mean, it's crazy. Like the Bengals, you know what I mean? They were an unranked team.
They were unranked in that after that Marvin Lewis stint, honestly. And not for nothing, even with him, I mean, they were making the playoffs consistently.
I'm shocked they turned it around. Not gonna hold you. I don't know how they did it.
A bit of it has to be a little luck, but a little, yeah. They drafted the right people.
But what were they doing wrong for the past? Like, look, man,
you gotta think
QBs
all of this shit is from the top down, right? So like, if the management and ownership is solid and competent, it trickles down into player personnel, coaching personnel. So I don't know what they did front office wise, but it is. And I also think a bit of it is luck, right? You draft a QB every year. You might be one for five.
Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase,
and not to mention
apart. You know what I mean? Like that was meant to be.
You got a young running back. You have a lot of good things going for you. Shout out to Cincinnati, but you were almost an unranked. So also unranked squads, non-guaranteed money for all players involved on unranked teams. I think that's just fair. You know, nothing's promised in this world, so you niggas don't need to get promised money, and that's just how I feel about it. I've seen enough. And so with that being said, that goes into my question about how you feel about the salary cap with the whole NFL free agency coming up or not coming up.
Like I feel like it goes back to the bad and the good orgs, because it's like I just feel like salary cap is not real for the teams that actually are good. Like the Rams, for example.
It doesn't make sense.
They don't have any draft picks. You know, they're paying for these dubs.
And I heard Jalen Ramsey say some shit about that though. Like, would you rather win now or would you rather go get a dude and build?
Yeah, and I get that mentality. You know what I mean? I guess like from a fan perspective though, it's like you would like to see your team set up for the long term, because how many times have you seen one of the bad teams just like make a jump for like a year and then they just revert back to who they really are? You know what I mean? That's just because you didn't put the time in to build it. Now you're handing out all bad contracts.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
You know, because now you got to pay for the talent and overpay every time you want somebody to stay.
And that is why you will be an unranked squad. And I just also want to put more emphasis on the unranked teams, because that's not just about players. It's really about management.
No, it's about the management.
Yeah,
the staff,
and ownership. Yeah,
ownership,
it's really about like the higher ups. It's not really about like players, but it's all full circle. All of y'all are involved. So I just wanted to put that out there in case any y'all don't understand how the unranked team structure works. Yeah. With that being said, though, I like what we went with the salary cap question or topic, and I also feel like the NFL structure. I really want that to be like a poll, like, you know, one of those polls they want. Like, I want that to really start being. I want fans to get that mad.
My thing is, it's like we pay attention to the wrong shit. Like, I think we give too much attention to what the players are getting paid instead of how much money the teams are really making to consistently not do shit. You know, it's like y'all have these $1 billion stadiums.
They should release the front office.
No,
salaries.
They need to release that shit.
Release the front office salaries, and you would be even more upset. Like, you see the GMs making $400,000 to run the Jaguars. I mean, any one of us in this room could run the Jaguars. You know what I mean?
I would have turned them around personally. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be my third playoff run. But at this point, it's like, and that's an example of what I was saying. You know, because it's like the Jags, for example. You know, they got to they made the playoffs. What
they did make the playoffs in like what?
Like 5 years ago, like that.
4 years ago, 5 years ago. Whenever Jalen, I think it was about 4 or 5 years.
One-time appearance.
And
back to the gulag.
And then you're back in the
picking one overall.
What is it? The QB carousel.
Yeah, that's another topic that I don't think, you know what I mean? The QB shit is really crazy too. You know, kicking is just as bad too. You know, QB and the kicker are two positions that you'll find teams scrambling. And it's like QB is, you know, granted they're gonna do their due diligence early, but they wait till the kickers like start fucking up mid-season to
cut a nigga.
That's crazy.
No, that's really bad. What I don't want to touch. I'll say this: the QB carousel, just high level. I just think, and I heard an NFL analyst or reporter say this, but NFL has a terrible job of evaluating QB talent.
Yeah, they do.
Ain't no way.
No, there's no way.
There's only like
There's
this
no way.
many quarterbacks in the fucking world. Like, I don't believe it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could believe, there's only this many neurosurgeons. That's a very technical and very, I'm not saying being a QB isn't, but I don't think the talent is being evaluated correctly nor developed. Yeah, that's like, the main
thing. What are the qualifications to be a scout? You know what I mean?
Oh, like, man. And when we get in, and we can get into all of that too, because that's a whole fucking comment. What are the qualifications to be in these entertainment, sport related, jobs? I don't know.
Who you know?
I don't know what a GM of a sports team is. Like,
I think we have the same qualifications as these scouts.
These niggas sit around and talk about the same shit we do.
And I play Madden. You know what I mean? Like, so do I, nigga. Like,
yeah, no, seriously. And a lot of them they haven't played. They haven't even applied the shit that they talk about.
Because my thing is too, is like, because originally I was somebody where it's like, I like seeing fans go overboard, throw shit at players, stuff like that.
Right, yeah.
It's like, come on, bro, that shit is corny.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But to see, like, I don't know how you could be an owner or management level at a bad organization and you don't feel the same passion. That's how you know they're hiring the wrong people, because it's like you need somebody in that office who's upset at the state of things.
No, seriously.
It's a lot of people that are just complacent. Not
for nothing. Shout out to the Lions coach. Even though you're an unranked squad, unranked organization, I need you crying at the podium. You got heart. No, I want you crying at the podium. This shit is sad. When you've been losing for years.
You should want it for your players, man.
You just walk.
It's torture.
Yeah, like
torture.
it's
when
just
you're
like
facing that 0-17 season. You
0-17 is fucking crazy, man. Like it's just
you're at the when you hit that 13th game and you're still losing.
Niggas at the brink.
Damn, man, are we?
Are we even professionals? Like, are niggas even Like, niggas is showing up to the fucking stadium. Like, damn, man. Like, damn, you really want to still do this? Like, niggas.
You
don't.
Around. That's the thing. That's when you get hurt. You know what I mean? Because it's like you don't. Not only do you not care anymore, it's just like, yo, I'm saving myself.
Yeah,
I can't.
Yeah, like I could probably do better elsewhere, type shit. Like, oh man, and see, this is the thing. We need to see. This is another thing I wanted to touch on. I want to see owners and coaches at the podium. Stop asking players, LeBron, what could you have done better tonight? This nigga couldn't have done shit better.
He's doing all
he had 39 and 9.
Let him go.
No, let's ask.
You're talking to the wrong people.
The GM. What were you thinking when you brought in this nigga and this nigga to help LeBron? What were you thinking? I want to hear his response. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear LeBron's response.
I want to see more ownership accountability.
I need to see
the way that they put, because it's like, although yes, I do think there's some coaches that, like the Lakers coach, you know what I mean? That's real questionable.
Should be fired if he was black.
And it's like, but I need to see GMs and I need to see owners at the podium taking accountability too. Like you constructed this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the bad restaurant shit we were talking about. It's like it's just a bad staff, managed, and it just starts with the management. You know what I mean? He don't care. He got his phone out in the back office. You know what I mean? He's watching YouTube videos on players, just like you and I.
Just like and no qualification.
Happy about the first overall pick.
And that's the thing. He don't have to answer to nobody.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why we are where we are. And that's why there's a lot of motherfucking questions on this injury report, man. But you know what? We definitely gonna get into some more shit next time. But I fucked with this though. Like, I like just talking sports. This is what niggas talk about. Sports, women, clothes. You know what I mean?
All that low key, we make a subtle impact.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love it. Yeah, man. But this is the injury report, episode 27, and we out.